name is Reddick. I am a rower. I competed for the United States at the Pan American Games in the double and in the quad. I rowed in college at the University of Pennsylvania, and now I train at Vesper Boat Club.
Alright, my name is Walsh. I went to Villanova University. I played volleyball for 2 years there and then transferred to rowing. Rowed in college. When I got out of college, I was training in Philly. I was a member of the 2009 World Championship quad, won a silver medal. Went to Pan Am's with Reddick last year and won a silver medal in the double and a bronze in the quad.
We definitely use imagery before racing. We do a race walkthrough and sort of mentally go through the different parts of our race and where our moves will be.
Also use it at night, just as kind of like a training tool for like going over changes that we're trying to make and that kind of stuff, because it's a lot of work to reset muscle memory, so it's good to kind of like think about it, visualize yourself making the changes, that change process.
I also use imagery just in general. Like I spend a lot of time on the spin bike, sort of thinking about my training and thinking about racing and sort of visualizing myself rowing the way I want to row and having the outcomes that I want to see in my performance.
For racing or for like making technical changes, also kind of is also a mental prep tool, as far as just kind of like opening your mind to like the possibilities of things that might happen during racing or during erg testing, and kind of like with the erg testing, like looking at the split, like, you know, and kind of gauging your response to this split, because like when you go into it you have a game plan, but you know, how are you going to handle it if you're feeling better than you expected or you're not feeling as well as you expected, and kind of like how you're going to make those adjustments.
I think it sort of gives you the advantage of having practice strokes that you're not actually taking, because you can only spend so much time on the water, so many hours per day, and by sort of mentally walking through the way you want to perform, it gives you added practice.
Well, I don't have any data that supports that it helps my performance, but it definitely helps me feel like I'm more prepared and have kind of, you know, put a lot of thought in. Obviously, like, I'm physically prepared with what I do at practice, but just making sure that I, going into it, have the confidence to do what I've trained for.
I focus on technically thinking about the changes I need to be making when I'm in the boat, and also when I'm visualizing racing.
Focus on race plan, on potential scenarios, on changes I want to make, pretty much anything, because everything that we do in sports has some kind of mental component to it.
It's hard to evaluate that. I mean, I think it is, and studies have shown that it's very effective, so I think it's something that we sort of try to do. Definitely our coach makes us do the race walkthrough and to talk through our moves and talk through our race plans so that we both mentally are on the same page before our races.
It depends on the coach. I definitely had one coach that was my first coach after graduating from undergrad that was really into it. He was a 3-time Dutch Olympian and definitely had strong views on it, and thought it was pretty helpful.
For our race walkthrough, we would go out and like very light pressure in the boat. We just paddle over the 2,000-meter course, and as we get to each point in the race, the bow person makes the calls, and we think about how we're going to respond. We'll talk about different scenarios. You know, if people are ahead of us, how will we move back? If we're ahead, how are we going to hold off the field? So it helps us prepare for our race plan, and also to sort of get ahead of the curve on different potential outcomes, things that might happen during